In the heart of a neon city that lives and breathes on artificial blood, one woman breaks into a system no human was ever meant to touch, and awakens something ancient, something powerful, something that has been watching humanity from the shadows for centuries. Now the hacker who knows too much, the king who hides in darkness, and the syndicate hungry for a throne of blood, are on a collision course that will tear the city open. Tonight, the truth rises, and Crimson Spire will never be the same. Before we jump into the story, drop your flag or country in the chat. Let's see who's representing tonight. Crimson Realm. People called it the brightest city on Earth, but Lena Ward always thought it looked like a giant mechanical heart. Every street glowed with tubes full of artificial blood. They ran through the walls, over the sidewalks, even above the skybridges like glowing veins. They pulsed softly, making the whole city feel alive. Some people found the glow comforting. Lena found it unnerving. Rain fell in thin red streaks that reflected the artificial light. Lena walked fast through the crowded lower streets, pushing past workers in steel-gray uniforms and vendors shouting about tech upgrades. The air always smelled faintly metallic, like cold iron. Her hood was pulled low, hiding the sharp-cut silver streak in her hair. She held her bag close, filled with tools for tonight's hack, mini-scout drones, encrypted connectors, and a drive she had printed herself. She loved tech. She trusted tech. People, not so much. Above her, the giant billboard flickered again. It showed the same message every night. Crimson Realm. Safe, secure, stable. Powered by Crimson Flow. Lena snorted. Safe? Sure. If you never look under the city's skin. She reached the abandoned rooftop she used as her hacking spot. The building was old and forgotten, half swallowed by taller structures. Rusty fire escapes, cracked windows, and a high view of the glowing city made it perfect for someone who didn't want to be seen. Once inside, she set up her gear on a dusty table. The moment her fingers touched her keyboard, her mind sharpened. The city's endless noise faded. Her breathing steadied. "This is the part one like," she whispered. Her main screen lit up with a complex model of the city's artificial blood grid. Bright red lines crossed like roots, carrying power and data. Crimson Flow wasn't normal energy. It was biosynthetic, half-tech, half-living. A perfect power source. A perfect surveillance system. Lena had spent months studying it. She knew its rhythm, its hum, its patterns. But lately, something had been off. Some packets in the network pulsed strangely, like they were echoing a heartbeat. "That shouldn't happen," Lena muttered. She zoomed in. The anomalies scattered across the grid, but always led downward, deep beneath the city. Lena cracked her knuckles. "Let's see what you're hiding." She began hacking deeper. Code scrolled like falling rain across her monitors. Layer after layer peeled back, revealing encrypted data that seemed older than the network itself. The deeper she went, the more she felt something strange. Not danger. Not fear. Something like a presence. Her screen glitched, just for half a second, but enough to make every vein of artificial blood in the city flicker through the window. What was that? Then she saw it, a locked vault far beneath the city. A bio-vault. Something that wasn't just data. Something connected to the entire system. It was sealed with an encryption key she had never seen before. It looked ancient. "Who put a vault beneath the blood grid?" she whispered. She tried cracking it. The first attempt failed. The second attempt almost fried her equipment. The third worked. A deep pulse shook the room. The artificial blood tubes outside the window throbbed with sudden brightness, like something had awakened. Lena's screen flashed a warning in bold red letters. Bio-vault breach. Subject awakened. Lena gasped. Subject? What subject? Before she could react, a low, calm voice echoed from her speakers. "Who calls me?" Lena froze. What? The voice was deep and steady, like it had been asleep for centuries and still sounded patient. "You touched my chamber," the voice said. "State your name." Lena's mouth felt dry. I didn't mean to. I was tracking corrupted packets, And your name. She swallowed. Lena Ward. A soft hum vibrated through her equipment. Lena Ward, the voice repeated slowly, as if tasting every sound. You should not have found me. The connection snapped. Her screens went black. The city lights outside dimmed all at once, like the mechanical heart of Crimson Realm missed a beat. Lena sat frozen. She had awakened something beneath the city. Something with a voice. Something with power. And she couldn't shake the feeling that it was now awake and watching her. Lena stayed still for several seconds, waiting for her screens to turn back on. When they finally flickered, they didn't show the interface she expected. Instead, they displayed an old-style symbol, a crest with a crown, a sword, and a blood drop. It looked royal, regal, out of place in a digital system. Lena whispered, "What the hell is this?" Then the crest vanished, replaced by a single glowing pulse. It moved like a heartbeat. She leaned closer, her eyes narrowing. This is not standard tech. Someone built this layer by hand, or by something. She tried disconnecting the hack, but her system locked her out. Her equipment hummed. Then the voice returned, this time clearer and sharper. You breached my sanctuary, it said. You carry my signal now. Lena's heart hammered. Listen, I didn't do anything on purpose. I didn't even know you existed. Yet you reached me, the voice said. Which means you are far more skilled than you appear. Lena frowned. Who are you? For a moment, silence. Then, my name is Dominic Hale. The air around her grew colder, though she couldn't explain why. Dominic Hale. The name meant nothing, but the way he said it made it sound ancient. Dominic Hale, she repeated. Okay. Why are you under the city? Why do you have a vault inside the blood grid? He didn't answer. Instead, the windows of her rooftop room suddenly shook, as if a shockwave hit the building. Lena jumped to her feet. What was that? Dominic's voice became low and calm. They have sensed my awakening. Who? Who is they? The ones who want my throne. Lena's stomach twisted. What throne? The city doesn't have a king. You are wrong, Dominic said. A soft, cold wind swept across the room. And then, without warning, the lights went out. Lena stood in darkness, her breathing loud in her ears. She reached for her flashlight, but a strange glow formed behind her. She turned around slowly. A figure stood there. Tall. Phil. Cloaked in shadows like they were part of him. His eyes glowed a faint, unnatural red, soft but ancient. Lena's back hit the table. What? How are you here? The man stepped forward, and his shadowy form became clearer. Long dark coat, pale skin, hair like midnight, and a calm expression that didn't match the chaos around them. I am Dominic Hale, he said gently. And you opened my chamber. Lena stared at him. You're real. Very real, he said with a faint, unreadable smile. The blood grid links to me. It has for centuries. Her mind spun. You're not human, are you? Dominic didn't deny it. He simply said, I am the ruler beneath this city. Lena's voice trembled. Everything says the city is run by the council. The council, he said slowly, answers to me. Or, they did. His expression shifted, eyes narrowing as if sensing something distant. Lena grabbed her tools, instinctively stepping back. Okay, Dominic or whatever, you need to go. I didn't sign up for this. They are coming, Lena. Who? The Syndicate. His voice grew darker. They have wanted my crown for decades. Your intrusion woke me, but it also alerted them. Lena stiffened. So, I woke up a vampire king. Dominic looked at her with calm eyes. You woke up the one thing that kept this city from falling. Thunder rumbled in the distance, but it wasn't natural. It sounded like machinery powering up. Your breach changed everything, Dominic said. Now, both of us are in danger. Lena clenched her fists. Why me? I didn't ask for this. Dominic stepped closer, his voice surprisingly soft. No. But fate rarely asks permission. Before Lena could argue, a metallic howl echoed from the streets below. Her blood chilled. Dominic's expression tightened. The syndicate has deployed their hunters. Hunters? For what? For you. Lena's breath hitched. Me? Why me? Because you accessed my vault, Dominic said. You are now a threat to them. Lena shook her head. I don't even know what's going on. Dominic held out a hand. Not forceful, but firm. Come with me, he said. If they reach you first, you will not survive. Lena stared at his hand. At his eyes. At the glowing city outside her window that suddenly felt much less alive, and much more dangerous. She didn't trust him. She didn't trust anyone. But when she heard the mechanical footsteps approaching the rooftop stairwell, she realized she didn't have a choice. She placed her hand in his. Dominic's grip was cold, but steady, and the moment he touched her, every artificial bloodlight in the city pulsed at once. Like the city itself felt his return. Lena didn't remember leaving her rooftop. One moment she was gripping Dominic Hale's cold hand, and the next she was stumbling through a narrow, old hallway far beneath the city. Everything felt disjointed, like her mind was still catching up. The walls around her were made of smooth black stone, but strange red circuits ran through them like tiny glowing branches. The deeper she walked, the more the walls hummed, as if responding to Dominic's presence. Where are we? Lena muttered, hugging her arms around herself. Dominic walked ahead without hurrying. A place only I have access to. A sanctuary older than the city itself. Sanctuary. She snorted. It feels more like a crypt. He glanced back calmly. A sanctuary is only a crypt to those who walk in without purpose. Lena didn't answer. There was no point arguing. She was exhausted, shaken, and running on pure adrenaline. Dominic reached a huge metal door covered in glowing red runes. He pressed his palm against it. The runes reacted instantly, lighting up in a cascading wave that looked disturbingly alive, like veins pulsing beneath skin. The door slid open without a sound. Inside was a vast chamber made of obsidian stone, with red light spilling from hovering spheres above. A long throne sat on a raised platform at the far end, beautiful, old, and dangerous-looking, carved with patterns she didn't recognize. Lena whispered, "You really weren't joking about the whole king thing." Dominic didn't sit. Instead, he walked to a raised table covered with old metal pieces and shattered crystal. He placed a hand on the table, and the pieces floated and rearranged themselves, forming a holographic map of the city. The blood grid pulsed across the map like glowing rivers. Lena stepped closer in spite of herself. "So you've been down here the whole time? What were you doing? Sleeping?" "Recovering," Dominic said simply. "The artificial blood system drains me. It keeps the city alive, but at a cost." "A cost to you?" "Yes." Lena stared at him. He didn't look weak. He looked unbreakable, quiet, collected, and focused. But something in his eyes hinted at deep exhaustion. Not physical. Something older. "So what?" "You control all of this?" she asked, pointing at the map. "In the past, yes." "And now?" Dominic's jaw tightened slightly. "Now the syndicate has taken much of it for themselves." Lena crossed her arms. "Why would they want it?" "Power," he said plainly. "This system can power machines, cities, armies. And they believe I have grown too soft to lead." Lena lifted a brow. "Have you?" "No." She jerked slightly at his sharp tone. Dominic softened his voice. "I built Crimson Realm to protect humans and vampires alike. The Syndicate wants to rule openly. Brutally. Destructively. They think fear brings order. And you don't. I think fear breaks people long before it unites them." Lena looked away, unsure how to respond. She had expected a monster. Instead she got a king who sounded tired of his own throne. A distant metallic scream echoed through the halls, low and distorted. Dominic's head snapped upward. They have breached a lower entrance. Lena's pulse quickened. They're already here? Yes. He moved toward her with purpose. You carry my signal now. They will sense it anywhere in the city. Because I hacked your vault? Because you touched my heartbeat. Lena stiffened. Your heartbeat? That was digital. Dominic shook his head slightly. Part digital, part biological, part something else. She stepped back. You mean magic? If you want a simple word, yes. Lena rubbed her temples. Great. Fantastic. I hacked a vampire king's magic heartbeat. This is exactly the kind of thing I try to avoid. Another distant clanging sound rang out. Louder this time. Dominic turned fully toward her. Listen carefully. The Syndicate will kill you if they reach you. Your actions exposed weaknesses in the grid. They believe you are an asset and a threat. Why an asset? Because you unlocked something they couldn't. And a threat. Because you awakened me. Lena swallowed hard. So what do we do now? Dominic stepped closer, lowering his voice. We prepare. And you stay behind me when they arrive. Lena glared. I can defend myself. This is not about ability, Dominic said. This is about survival. He turned and walked toward the throne, where a long silver sword rested against the stone. When he picked it up, the blade pulsed with the same red glow as the blood grid. Lena couldn't look away. Dominic whispered something in a language she didn't know. The blade hummed. Then he looked at her, eyes glowing softly. Stay close, he said. For both our sakes. Before Lena could reply, the chamber doors shook with a heavy, echoing boom. They weren't alone anymore. The chamber doors shuddered again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lena stepped back automatically, her heart pounding. Dominic stepped forward with quiet purpose, sword in hand. Do not run, he said calmly. They track fear. They feed on it. That is the worst advice I've ever heard, Lena whispered, trembling despite herself. A final slam cracked the door open. Cold metal claws tore into the gap, wrenching it wider. The glow from the runes flickered as if in pain. Dominic's voice lowered. Lena. Behind me. She didn't argue this time. The door ripped open with a metallic shriek. A creature stepped inside, tall and humanoid, but its limbs were reinforced with black metal. Its eyes glowed red like small lasers. Artificial blood pulsed through tubes in its chest. A cyber-vampire hunter, Lena whispered. What is that? Dominic didn't blink. The Syndicate's newest creation. Half vampire, half machine. Loyal only to Marcus Thorne. The creature tilted its head, sniffing the air. When it spoke, its voice was distorted, metallic, and hungry. Target detected, it said, pointing at Lena. Hacker Lena Ward. Retrieve. Alive. Lena's throat closed. Dominic stepped in front of her, sword raised. You will not touch her. The hunter lunged. Dominic moved like water. Smooth, fast, impossible to track. His sword flashed, slicing through metal and bone. Sparks burst into the air. The hunter staggered, but didn't fall. Lena backed away until she hit the stone wall. She wished she had a weapon. Something. Anything. Dominic slashed again, but the hunter caught the blade with its metal claws. It snarled and shoved him backward with shocking strength. Lena gasped. Dominic! He recovered instantly, landing on his feet in a half-crouch. His eyes glowed brighter now. Stay back, Lena. The hunter leaped toward him again. But this time Dominic stepped sideways, grabbed its arm, and twisted. The sound of snapping metal echoed through the chamber. Dominic drove his palm into the creature's chest, pushing a surge of red energy into its core. The hunter convulsed, then collapsed. Lena stared at the body. Is it dead? Not yet, Dominic said. "But long enough for us to move." Before they could, a second hunter appeared in the doorway. Then a third. Then a fourth. Lena's legs nearly gave out. "Dominic, there are too many." "Yes," he said softly. And for the first time, she saw something in his expression that scared her more than the hunters. Recognition. "They are not here to capture you," Dominic said quietly. "They are here to eliminate me." Lena's stomach dropped. "Eliminate you? Why?" "Marcus Thorne has waited for centuries to claim my throne. Your breach weakened the seals around my chamber. He sees his chance." The hunters stepped forward in perfect synchronization. Dominic lifted his sword. "Run." Lena shook her head. "You told me not to run." "That was before," Dominic said. "Now you must." He grabbed her wrist and pulled her toward a side passage she hadn't noticed. "But what about you?" Lena shouted. "I will hold them off. I need time to recover. You need time to escape." "Dominic, go." He shoved her into the passage just as the hunters charged. The door slid shut behind her, cutting off her view. She heard the clash of metal, the roar of energy, the sharp sound of Dominic's blade striking metal again and again. Lena stumbled down the narrow tunnel, her breath ragged. The walls were lined with old symbols and glowing veins of red light. Her footsteps echoed like frantic heartbeats. She didn't know where she was going. She just knew she had to move. After several twists and turns, she reached a small chamber with a platform in the center. A soft voice echoed from somewhere above. "Subject Lena Ward." Lena spun. "No. No, no, don't tell me." A hologram flickered to life in front of her, sharp-featured, cold eyes, hair slicked back like polished steel. Marcus Thorne. He smiled without warmth. "So," he said, "you are the girl who woke the ancient king." Lena's skin crawled. "Get away from me." Marcus tilted his head. "You opened a vault no one else could. You touched power older than your city. That makes you special." "I don't want to be special," Lena snapped. "But you are," Marcus said. "And now you belong to me." Lena backed away. "I belong to no one." Marcus's smile widened. Brave words. Dominic always had a soft spot for brave humans. "But he cannot protect you now." Lena clenched her fists. "You're attacking him." "Why? What did he ever do to you?" Marcus's eyes hardened. "He took the throne that should have been mine." Lena swallowed. "So this is about jealousy?" "This is about destiny," Marcus hissed. "And you, Lena Ward, are the final piece I need." "For what?" Marcus leaned forward, his hologram flickering. "To break Dominic Hale forever." The chamber shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lena heard the faint echo of Dominic's battle far behind her, fierce, unending. Marcus's eyes glowed brighter. "Run if you want," he said. "My hunters will find you soon." "Why do you want me?" Lena demanded again. Marcus's voice dropped into a cold whisper. "Because you touched Dominic's heartbeat. And whoever touches a king's heartbeat can be used to destroy him." Lena's breath stopped. Marcus smirked. "You are the weapon, Lena Ward." The hologram vanished. Lena stood alone, trembling. She had awakened a king. She had exposed herself to a deadly enemy. She had become a target, and now a weapon. And Dominic was still fighting for his life because of her. Lena took one shaky breath. Then another. And then she whispered to herself, "I'm not letting him fight alone." She turned around and ran back into the darkness. Lena didn't know how long she ran. Time became a blur of twisting tunnels, glowing veins in the walls, and the echo of distant metal clashing against stone. She followed the vibrations. Dominic's battle felt like a heartbeat shaking through the underground. She didn't know what she could do. She only knew she couldn't leave him behind. Finally, she burst into a narrow hallway lit by red crystals. The air was colder here. Thick, heavy with something she couldn't name. At the end of the hallway, a half-broken door hung open. Voices echoed through the gap, metallic snarls and Dominic's calm, steady breathing. Lena pressed herself against the wall and peeked inside. The chamber from before was ruined. The hovering lights were shattered, the stone floor cracked apart. 3 cyber-vampire hunters lay in pieces, their metal limbs sparking and twitching. Dominic stood in the center of it all, wounded but still strong. His dark coat was torn, his pale skin streaked with glowing red lines, vampiric energy exposed beneath the surface. His sword dripped with mixed metal and blood. One final hunter faced him, larger than the rest, its red eyes locked on the king. The creature lunged. Dominic deflected its claws, but he staggered back. He'd fought too long. He was weakening. Lena didn't think. She moved. Her foot caught a loose shard of crystal. She hurled it as hard as she could. Hey! The shard hit the hunter's head with a sharp crack. The creature paused and turned sharply toward her, metal joints whining. Dominic's eyes widened. Lena, no. The hunter launched at her like a missile. Lena froze. At the last second, Dominic flashed between them, too fast for her eyes to follow, and slammed the creature backward. His blade plunged into its chest. Red sparks burst from the impact. The hunter convulsed violently, then went still. Dominic swayed. Lena ran to him. Dominic, are you? I am alive. His voice was calm, but his breathing was uneven. You should not have returned. I wasn't going to let you die, she snapped, grabbing the edge of his sleeve. I don't leave people behind. Dominic studied her with unreadable eyes, then looked away. You are reckless, he said softly. But, thank you. Lena helped him walk to a stone bench. He lowered himself carefully. Then she saw the wound. A deep gash cut across his ribs, glowing like molten metal. The sight made her stomach twist. Dominic, you're hurt. It will not kill me, he murmured, but it weakens me greatly. What do you need? How do vampires heal? We draw strength from blood. He paused, studying her reaction. But not yours. Never yours. Lena took a shaky breath. So what then? He raised a trembling hand toward the wall. Red veins inside the stone pulsed faintly. This sanctuary was built with blood energy. I can absorb some of it, if you assist. Tell me what to do. Dominic reached into the folds of his coat and pulled out a small metal capsule engraved with ancient symbols. This is a conduit, he said. It will link your mind to the blood grid. You channel the energy toward me. I take only what I need. Lena frowned. My mind? Is that safe? No, he said honestly. But you are the only one who can do it. You touched my heartbeat. You are already connected. Lena stared at him. His face was pale. His wounds pulsed with dim light. If she did nothing, he would fade. She grabbed the capsule. Tell me how. Dominic nodded slowly. Place it on your wrist. She pressed it against her skin. It clicked into place, gripping her like a cold bracelet. A sudden rush of sensation flooded her, a vibrating pulse that wasn't hers. Now, breathe, Dominic said. Lena closed her eyes. She felt the blood grid. It wasn't like a machine. Not anymore. It felt alive, like thousands of rivers flowing beneath the city. Warm, pulsing, whispering. Dominic's voice became a soft echo in her mind. Guide the energy to me. Slowly. Do not force it. She imagined a stream of red light flowing from the walls, through the capsule, and toward Dominic. The energy responded, drawn to her thoughts. It swirled around her like glowing mist. Dominic inhaled sharply as the red mist entered him. His wounds pulsed brighter, then slowly closed. Good, he said quietly. Do not stop. Lena focused harder, even as her head began to spin. Her heartbeat synced with the grid, one fast, one ancient and slow. She felt Dominic's presence like a cold flame brushing her skin. It wasn't frightening, just strange, powerful, connected. After several minutes, Dominic placed a hand over hers gently. That is enough. She opened her eyes. Dominic's wounds were nearly healed. His eyes glowed brighter, more alive, more steady. Lena removed the capsule, gasping softly. That felt weird. It was dangerous, Dominic said, voice softer now. Your mind could have been overwhelmed. But you handled it well. Lena rubbed her temples. I never want to do that again. A faint smile touched his lips. I hope you never have to. She sat beside him, both of them breathing slowly in the quiet chamber. Finally, she asked, What now? Dominic's expression darkened. Now Marcus Thorne knows you can connect to me. That makes you valuable. And dangerous. So he'll send more hunters. Yes. Lena clenched her fists. Then I guess we fight back. Dominic looked at her, surprised. You are only human. You owe me nothing. I woke you up, Lena said firmly. So I'm not walking away. Dominic studied her with a long, unreadable stare. Then he stood, his voice steady again. Very well. Then we prepare for war. The path Dominic led Lena down was unlike anything she'd seen. It wound through layers of the underground city that didn't appear on any map, ancient structures mixed with modern machinery. Some halls were lit by glowing red crystals. Others were dark, cold, lined with stone pillars carved with faces. Silent vampire faces. Watching. Lena shivered. This place is huge. It was built long before Crimson Realm existed, Dominic said. The vampire courts ruled these depths. But over time, only one court remained, mine. Lena walked beside him, her steps echoing across the stone floor. Pipes carrying artificial blood ran overhead, their glow reflected in puddles on the ground. Did you rule alone? She asked. Dominic nodded. Vampires are not meant to rule together. Power corrupts us too quickly. Sounds lonely. Dominic didn't respond. But his silence was answer enough. They entered a vast chamber shaped like a cathedral. Ancient banners hung from the walls, tattered by time. The floor was lined with long stone slabs. Graves, Lena realized. Neon lights flickered from the city above through cracks in the ceiling, creating a strange blend of bright color and deathly shadow. Dominic looked around with a heavy expression. This was once the heart of the court. My people slept here, protected from the sun. Lena swallowed. What happened to them? The syndicate, Dominic said. They killed hundreds to take control of the blood grid. Only a few loyal ones escaped. Lena glanced at him. Is that why you hid yourself? To protect the city? Or because you didn't trust your own kind anymore? Dominic walked slowly between the slabs. His fingers brushed one with a carved name, faded beyond recognition. Both, he said quietly. I thought, if I disappeared, the fighting would stop. But it didn't, Lena murmured. No, Dominic said bitterly. It only made Marcus Thorne bolder. They walked deeper into the hall. Lena spotted something strange, a set of metal pods connected to old stone platforms. They hummed faintly, leaking red vapor. What are these? Blood crucibles, Dominic said. Old machines for strengthening vampires. Dangerous. Unpredictable. Lena stepped away quickly. They look like they want to eat whoever touches them. They would, Dominic said simply. As they continued, a soft whisper echoed from the shadows. Lena froze. Did you hear that? Dominic turned sharply, eyes glowing. Stay behind me. A figure emerged from behind a pillar, pale, thin, wearing a flowing cloak of silver and black. Her eyes glowed a softer red than Dominic's, and her hair fell like white silk over her shoulders. Lena gasped. Another vampire? Dominic relaxed slightly. Yes, one of the last loyal ones. The woman bowed her head with grace. My king. Her voice was soft and musical. Dominic nodded. Arya. Lena blinked at the name. Arya? You're not trying to kill us. Arya smiled gently. If I wished you harm, little human, you would not have seen me approach. Lena stiffened. Okay, that's not comforting. Dominic stepped forward. How many hunters have passed through here? Too many, Arya said. Marcus has emptied his nests. He wants the girl captured and you destroyed. Lena muttered, Great. Love that. Arya's eyes softened as she studied Lena. You do not look like someone who would change a kingdom's fate. Trust me, I didn't plan to. Arya walked closer, moving like a shadow. You carry his signal, she said, her voice deepening. I can feel it. Dominic marked you. Lena's heart jumped. He didn't. It was an accident. Dominic spoke sharply. She touched the heartbeat seal. Nothing more. Arya raised a brow. Your seal has never responded to anyone before. Not even to your own court. Dominic didn't reply. He looked troubled. Arya stepped back with a soft sigh. Whatever the reason, Marcus will not stop until he owns her. Or destroys her. Lena's voice was small. Why me? Arya looked at her gently. Because you broke the seal. That makes you a threat. And a key. A key? To what? Lena whispered. Dominic and Arya exchanged a silent look. Then Arya said, To the throne. Lena felt dizzy. I don't want a throne. I don't want any of this. Dominic stepped toward her, his expression calm but intense. You are not meant to take the throne. But Marcus believes he can use your connection to control me. To bind me. Or to kill me. So I'm a weapon, Lena said bitterly. Dominic's voice softened. You are not a weapon. Unless you choose to be. Arya glanced at Dominic. We should move. Marcus will track her again soon. Dominic nodded. There is one final place we must go. Lena frowned. Where? He turned toward a deep tunnel descending beneath the court, glowing faintly red. The heart of the grid, Dominic said. The blood well. Arya inhaled sharply. Dominic, that place is unstable. We have no choice, he said. If Marcus corrupts it, the entire city will fall. Vampires. Humans. All of them. Lena whispered. Then we stop him. Dominic looked at her with a fierce, quiet loyalty she didn't expect. Yes, he said. Together. And they descended into the darkness. The descent into the bloodwell was long and steep, twisting like the inside of a massive artery. The tunnel walls pulsed with dim red light, as if the entire structure breathed. Lena stayed close to Dominic and Arya, her footsteps uneven on the ancient stone. Every sound echoed, water dripping, metal humming, the distant throb of the blood grid deep below. Dominic walked ahead, silent and focused, one hand on the wall, feeling the pulse of the city. Arya followed with fluid grace, but Lena's hands shook. She tried to hide it, but Arya noticed anyway. You're afraid, Arya said softly. Lena glared. Of course I am. Hunters, a vampire king, a psycho syndicate leader. Why wouldn't I be? Arya tilted her head. Fear is not weakness. Fear is awareness. Lena snorted. You're trying to make me feel better. No, Arya said calmly. I am stating a fact. You survive because you fear wisely. Lena didn't respond. Instead, she focused on the path. The tunnel widened into a massive cavern with towering pillars carved in spiraling shapes. Red mist rose from cracks in the floor. Far below, Lena could see rivers of glowing blood flowing like molten lava, beautiful and terrifying. Dominic raised a hand. Stop. Lena froze. At the center of the cavern, crouched on a stone bridge like a monstrous gargoyle, was a hunter. Larger. Sharper. Its limbs were fused with thick cables of synthetic muscle. Its eyes glowed brighter than the earlier ones, burning like focused lasers. Arya whispered, Marcus sent his elites. Dominic breathed slowly. They are not here for me. They are waiting for her. Lena felt the hunter's gaze lock onto her, even from a distance. Her skin crawled. Why can it sense me that easily? She whispered. Dominic hesitated before answering. Because you carry my resonance now. My signature lives in your mind, your pulse, your energy. Lena's voice trembled. So I'm a walking tracking beacon? Essentially, Arya said. Lena clenched her teeth. Fantastic. The hunter suddenly roared, an ear-piercing metallic shriek, and charged across the bridge with frightening speed. Dominic stepped in front of her instantly. Arya, shield. Arya sliced her hand through the air, and a shimmering barrier of red energy erupted before them. The hunter slammed into it, shaking the cavern. Cracks spread across the barrier. Dominic moved in a flash, meeting the creature mid-strike. His sword clashed with metal claws, sparks flying. Arya joined him, delivering sharp, precise attacks that targeted the creature's joints. Lena backed toward a pillar, heart pounding, watching them fight with unreal speed. Dominic's movements were a mix of old combat skill and pure supernatural grace. Arya fought like a dancer, quick, lethal, silent. But the hunter was strong. Too strong. With a roaring swing, it knocked Arya across the bridge. She crashed into a pillar and fell to her knees. Dominic shouted her name, momentarily distracted. The hunter used the opening and slammed Dominic in the chest. He flew backward, skidding across stone. Lena screamed, "Dominic!" The hunter turned its burning gaze on her. She knew she couldn't fight it. She had nothing, no weapon, no power, nothing but fear and desperation. But then, from the corner of her eye, a flicker of silver caught her attention. A loose chain lay near a cracked stone slab, thin but long, made of some sturdy metal. She grabbed it, her hand shaking, and whipped it toward the hunter. It wrapped around its leg with a loud metallic clank. The hunter stumbled for half a second, a tiny moment, but enough for Dominic. He surged forward, sword glowing bright red. With a roar of ancient strength, he drove the blade through the hunter's core. The creature convulsed violently, emitting a shrill metallic scream before collapsing. Silence filled the cavern. Dominic breathed hard, steadying himself. Arya rose to her feet, brushing dust from her cloak. Lena collapsed to her knees, heart racing. Is it over? For now, Dominic said. But Marcus will not stop. Arya stepped beside Lena, her voice softer. You acted with courage. Lena let out a shaky laugh. I acted with panic. Courage and panic are sisters, Arya replied. Dominic approached, extending a hand to help Lena up. She took it, steady but shaken. He studied her face. Your instincts saved us. Don't give me too much credit, Lena muttered. I just didn't want to die. Dominic looked at her with something deeper than gratitude, something unreadable. Survival is a powerful motivator, he said softly. And you are learning quickly. Lena looked away, her cheeks warm. She didn't want emotions right now. She wanted answers. She asked, Where's the blood well? Dominic pointed toward a massive stone archway glowing with deep crimson light. Through there. They walked forward, but as they stepped into the archway, Lena's palm computer vibrated violently. She frowned. What? I'm not getting any signal except... A screen flashed open. A message appeared. We have her. Come alone if you want her back. Marcus Thorne. An image followed. Lena's mentor. Dr. Isaiah Trent. The man who taught her how to code, how to think, how to survive in a city of lies. He was bound to a chair, beaten, bloodied, but alive. Lena's vision blurred. No. No, no, no. Dominic stepped closer, voice low. Marcus knows you care for him. Arya hissed. He wants to break her will. Lena's voice cracked. We have to save him. Dominic looked at her, a long, quiet, painful look. I cannot leave the blood well unprotected. Marcus will corrupt it if I go. Then I'll go, Lena said, wiping her eyes. Just tell me where. No, Dominic stepped in front of her. This is what Marcus wants. He wants you alone. Vulnerable. Lena's fists shook. I can't just leave him to die. Dominic's voice remained calm, but his eyes were full of weight. You may have to. Lena felt like the ground dropped beneath her. Her chest tightened. Her breaths came fast. Arya stepped forward gently. Your heart is human. It loves deeply. That is why Marcus uses it against you. I won't let him kill Isaiah, Lena whispered. I won't. Dominic wrapped his hands around her shoulders, pulling her focus to his eyes. Lena Ward, he said in a low, steady voice, if you walk into Marcus's hands unprepared, you will die, and he will take control of the grid using your mind. Tears burned her eyes. So what am I supposed to do? Dominic held her gaze. You get stronger. Stronger, Lena echoed. How? Dominic inhaled deeply. Then he said 3 words that changed everything. Through the blood well. The blood well chamber was unlike anything Lena imagined. A massive circular pit lay at its center, filled with swirling red energy. The liquid surface churned like a storm, half blood, half light, half something unearthly. It glowed so brightly Lena had to shield her eyes. Arya stood at the edge, whispering, It is alive. Dominic nodded. It is the source of our power. The first well created by the Ancient Ones. It binds the vampire courts, and it binds me. Lena stepped forward cautiously. And you want me to... what? Jump in. Dominic gave her a stern look. Absolutely not. Arya smirked. You would melt. Lena backed away. Dominic walked to the blood well and lowered his hand above the surface. The liquid rose to meet him, forming tendrils that reached for his palm like hungry flames. He didn't flinch. Lena watched in awe. How can you stand that close? This well is tied to my lineage, Dominic said quietly. It knows me. And what about me? Dominic turned to her. You carry my resonance. That allows you to connect to the blood well, but only through my guidance. Without it, the well will tear your mind apart. Lena gulped. Okay, then guide me. Because I'm not letting Marcus kill Isaiah. Arya stepped forward, voice soft but sharp. Before you enter any connection with the well, you must understand something. Dominic has never shared his resonance with anyone. Ever. Lena blinked. Not even you? Arya smiled sadly. Especially not me. Dominic ignored the comment. Instead, he sat on the edge of the platform and motioned for Lena to sit opposite him. She did, crossing her legs to mimic his posture. The blood well churned between them, casting shifting red light over their faces. Dominic raised his hands. Give me your wrists. Lena hesitated only a second before placing her hands in his. His palms were cold, but steady, grounding, strangely comforting. Dominic closed his eyes. Listen to me carefully. Connecting to the blood well means touching memories. Power. Pain. You will see what I have seen. Feel what I have felt. If you panic, the well will consume you. Lena swallowed hard. I'll control it. I will help you, Dominic said. But you must trust me. She nodded. I do. His eyes opened and glowed bright red. Then breathe. Lena inhaled. And the blood well surged upward. A column of red light shot between them, wrapping around their hands. Lena's mind exploded with heat. Images rushed in too fast to understand. Shadows, fire, ancient symbols, screams, whispers, towers collapsing, blades clashing. She gasped, almost pulling away, but Dominic tightened his grip. Focus, he murmured. The images slowed, and Lena saw Dominic's past. A young prince standing in a hall full of jeweled vampires. A war between courts. Dominic ascending the throne with blood on his hands. Battles fought in darkness. Humans fleeing in fear. Dominic watching it all with quiet sorrow. Lena whispered, "You tried to rule peacefully." Dominic nodded once. "And my people paid the price." More memories poured in. Marcus Thorne as a younger vampire, handsome, ambitious, power-hungry. Dominic sparing him once. Marcus plotting against him for centuries. The Syndicate rising. Dominic hiding beneath the city to prevent all-out war. Lena gasped. "You didn't hide because you were weak. You hid because you were protecting them." Dominic's voice echoed through her mind. "Yes, I believed removing myself would stop the conflict. But Marcus just grew stronger." "Yes," he said. "I miscalculated." Lena's vision blurred with memories of fallen courts, ruined halls, blood and fire. Dominic's voice softened. "Do you understand now why I cannot allow Marcus control of the Bloodwell?" "Yes," Lena whispered. "He'll destroy everything." The Bloodwell's glow brightened, swirling faster. Lena felt her mind burning, stretching, opening. Dominic murmured, "Hold on, Lena. You're almost through." "What happens next?" she asked through clenched teeth. "You gain what you need to survive Marcus," he said. "Clarity, power of mind, connection to the grid." The Bloodwell rose again, surrounding her vision, flooding her senses. Then silence. Lena's eyes snapped open. The well calmed, its surface smooth as glass. Dominic released her hands slowly. His face softened with rare emotion. "You survived." Arya stared in disbelief. "Impossible. No human has ever endured the well's mind connection." Lena rubbed her forehead. "I feel strange." Dominic nodded. "Your mind is now linked to the grid more intimately than ever before." Lena blinked. The cavern looked different, brighter. The rivers of red light pulsed in slow motion. She could feel them like background thoughts. Arya whispered, "She sees the flow." Dominic stood. "Yes. Lena now sees the city as I do." Lena rose, steadying herself. "So now I can fight Marcus?" Dominic stepped closer, lifting her chin gently with his fingers. "You can face him." Lena's heart thudded. Dominic's voice dropped to a low whisper. "But the fight will change you. And once you step onto that path, there is no turning back." Lena exhaled shakily. "I don't care." Dominic's eyes glowed softly. "Then the war begins." The city of Crimson Spire trembled hours after Lena touched the Bloodwell. She felt it before Dominic said a word, an unnatural vibration rippling through the blood grid, like a shudder running down a spine. The arterial tubes above ground pulsed brighter, then dimmer, as if something were sucking the life out of them. Then something cracked. A tremor. A flicker. A heartbeat slowing. Lena clutched her temples. "Dominic, something's wrong." Dominic's jaw tightened. "Marcus has begun." Arya appeared from the shadows, expression tight. "He is corrupting the outer networks. The Syndicate moves fast." A distant alarm wailed across the Bloodwell chamber, echoing through the ancient walls like the cry of a dying creature. Lena swallowed. "He's taking over the city's blood supply?" "Yes," Dominic said. "And once he has full control, he will control every vampire tied to this grid." "And humans?" Lena asked. Dominic hesitated. "Their systems rely on clean artificial blood. If Marcus corrupts it—" He didn't finish. He didn't have to. Lena shook off her fear. "Then we stop him." Dominic's expression was unreadable. "You are not ready to face him directly. The Bloodwell has changed you, yes, but Marcus is ancient and fueled by stolen power." "I don't care. Isaiah needs." He cut her off, voice firm. "Lena." She froze. She had never heard him say her name like that. Sharp, almost pained. Dominic lowered his voice. "This is not only about your mentor. The entire city is at risk." Lena's throat tightened, but she nodded. "I know. So what's the plan?" Arya stepped closer. Marcus has created a corruption core. He injects dark energy into the city's main vein. It is located at the top of the Bloodspire Tower. Lena frowned. The building with the glowing red crown? Yes, Arya said. He has converted it into his throne. Lena balled her fists. Then we go there. Dominic exchanged a glance with Arya, one that Lena couldn't read. She caught only a flicker of hesitation. Finally Dominic said, "We will. But first, you must see what he has done." He placed a hand on her forehead. Instantly the world changed. She saw the city from above, roads glowing like arteries, buildings pulsing, the blood grid flickering. Then the view zoomed further, showing the central spire. At the top burned a massive swirling vortex of corrupted red and black energy. Lena gasped. "What is that?" "The corruption core," Dominic said. "Marcus is feeding on it. His power grows with every pulse." The vision faded. Lena exhaled shakily. "We need to move." Arya nodded. "We will guide you through the underground tunnels. Hunters now patrol the streets above. The city is no longer safe." They ran, through winding corridors, across ancient bridges, up staircases dug into stone. The growl of distant hunters echoed occasionally, but none approached. Dominic's dark aura seemed to repel them. After nearly an hour, they reached a sealed gate. Dominic pressed his palm against a symbol, and it rumbled open, leading them into an abandoned subway station. Rotting trains rested on dead tracks. Neon lights flickered like dying fireflies. Lena stared in disbelief. "People don't come down here anymore. They fear what lurks below," Arya said. "Rightfully so." As they walked between rusted train cars, Lena suddenly stopped. She heard something. A whisper. No, several whispers, threading through the air like someone speaking inside her skull. "Lena." Lena warred. "Come find me." She froze. "Dominic. Do you hear that?" Dominic turned sharply. "Hear what?" Arya stepped beside them. "Your connection to the blood well grows stronger. It is speaking to you." "It's not the well," Lena whispered. "It's Isaiah." Dominic's eyes opened wide. Marcus is using him as bait again. A metallic clang echoed behind them. Lena spun around. A figure dragged itself out from between two train cars, its movements twitchy and unnatural. Its eyes glowed bright white, unlike the red of other hunters. Lena gasped. "Is that—" "No," Dominic said sharply. "Do not approach." But the creature staggered toward her, trembling violently. Then it spoke, with Isaiah's voice. "Lena, run." Her heart cracked. Dominic stepped protectively between them. "It is not him," Arya hissed. "It is a mimic. Marcus created it from corrupted blood." The creature snapped its head toward Dominic and screeched, revealing rows of needle teeth. Dominic pushed Lena to the side. "Move." The mimic leaped. Dominic's blade flashed in a red arc, slicing its arm. Arya struck with a spinning kick that sent it skidding across the platform. But the mimic didn't slow. It rushed Lena. She screamed, and reflexively raised her hand. A shockwave exploded from her palm, fueled by the Bloodwell's power. Red light blasted across the station, smashing the creature into a steel pillar with a sickening crunch. Silence. Lena stared at her trembling hand. What did I just—" Dominic's expression softened. "You accessed the Bloodwell's energy. You defended yourself." Arya smiled faintly. "Your power awakens." Lena felt cold. "I saw Isaiah's face in that thing." "That was Marcus's intention," Dominic said quietly. "To break you. To weaken you." Lena exhaled, shaking. "It won't work." Dominic held her gaze. "Good." They continued through the tunnels until they reached a large service hatch marked with warning symbols. Dominic placed both hands on the sealed metal plate. "Beyond this door lies the Bloodspire. Once we enter, there is no space for retreat." Lena's jaw tightened. We finish this. Arya pushed the hatch open, revealing a long vertical shaft with glowing red pipes spiraling upward like veins. Lena stepped inside. Dominic whispered behind her, "Stay close. Marcus can sense you now." As they ascended the spiral staircase carved between pipes, the air grew hotter. Sparks crackled. The tubes pulsed erratically. At the top, Lena saw it. A massive double door carved from obsidian and steel. The entrance to Marcus Thorne's throne chamber. A cold wind seeped through the cracks. Dominic stepped forward, hand hovering above the door. He whispered, "Prepare yourself, Lena. Everything changes now." And he pushed the doors open. The throne chamber was vast, like a cathedral built from bone, metal, and red lightning. Pillars of glowing blood corrected the ceiling. Dark energy swirled like a storm above. At the far end stood a throne carved of black stone, and seated upon it, Marcus Thorne. His body had changed since Lena last saw him on the screens. Dark veins glowed beneath his skin like wires overheating. His eyes burned with white-hot hunger. Beside him, barely conscious, was Dr. Isaiah Trent. Lena's breath caught. "Isaiah!" She ran forward, but Dominic grabbed her arm. "Wait." Marcus rose from the throne with slow, deliberate steps, clapping mockingly. "Dominic Hale," he said, voice dripping with superiority. "You bring me gifts." He turned his gaze to Lena, smiling cruelly. "And you are the brightest gift of all." Lena glared. "Let Isaiah go." Marcus laughed. "Oh, Lena. You still think you have demands to make?" Dominic stepped forward. "Your war ends here, Marcus." Marcus grinned. "Does it? You abandoned your throne. You hid underground like a rat. You let humans destroy your empire." Dominic spoke calmly. "I protected them." "From what?" "Yourself." Marcus sneered. Arya growled. "You disgrace our kind." Marcus ignored her. He raised a hand, and the corruption core above surged. The blood tubes around the chamber pulsed violently. Marcus's body glowed brighter. "This city is mine now. Every vampire tied to this grid will kneel to me. And the humans, well, they will serve their purpose." Dominic drew his blade. "No more." Marcus smirked. "Then approach, old king. Let us see who deserves the throne." The air snapped. Dominic charged. Marcus met him in a blur of motion. Their clash shook the chamber, railing thunder, blade sparking, shadow against shadow. Arya leaped into the fray, but Marcus unleashed a blast of corrupted energy that sent her flying into a pillar. Lena ran to Isaiah. "Isaiah! Wake up!" His eyes fluttered open. "Lena! Don't! He wants your power." "I know," she whispered, cutting his restraints with her blood-well-charged energy. Marcus laughed mid-battle. "Do you think the human will survive long enough to matter?" Dominic slashed him across the chest, but Marcus barely reacted. "You're weakening, old king." Marcus kicked Dominic, sending him sliding across the floor. Lena felt her pulse spike. The bloodwell's energy thrummed inside her veins. She stepped forward. Marcus turned to her. "Ah, there you are. Show me what Dominic has given you. Show me the power he shared." Lena breathed slowly, focusing. The energy inside her swirled, responding. Dominic struggled to rise. "Lena, don't. He's provoking you." Marcus gestured with open arms. "Come, little human. Show me your worth." Lena lifted her hand, and red energy coiled around her fingers. Marcus lunged. Lena unleashed a blast. Red light exploded outward, crashing into Marcus like a shockwave. He slammed into the wall, cracking it. Dominic stared in astonishment. "Lena!" Marcus laughed as he stood, dust crumbling from his shoulders. "Impressive. But you still cannot." Lena fired again, cutting him off. Marcus dodged, appearing behind her in a blink. He grabbed her throat. Lena choked, kicking, clawing, but Marcus lifted her with ease. "You are powerful," he hissed into her ear, "but undisciplined. I will tear the Bloodwell's gift from your mind and make it mine." Dominic roared and charged, stabbing Marcus through the rib. Marcus snarled, dropping Lena, but kept the blade embedded as if it were a mere thorn. He backhanded Dominic so hard the king crashed onto the stairs of the throne. Lena's vision blurred. Her lungs burned. She crawled toward Dominic. "Get up, please," Dominic whispered. "Lena, the blood will use its core. Shut down the corruption." She shook her head. "I don't know how." "You do," he said, touching her face. "I saw it in your mind." Marcus walked toward them, mad with power. "You both die now." Lena rose unsteadily. "No." She spread her hands. She felt the bloodwell inside her, deep, ancient, alive. And she reached for the corruption core. It pulsed violently, trying to resist. Marcus screamed, "Stop! You don't know what you're touching." But Lena pushed harder. The core cracked. The energy shot through her body in a blinding flash. The entire tower shook. Dominic shouted her name. Arya shielded Isaiah. Marcus's scream filled the chamber. And then, boom. A wave of pure red radiance tore outward, swallowing everything. When the light faded, the core was gone. The chamber lay in ruins. Marcus stood trembling, stripped of power, veins dimmed. Lena approached him. "It's over." Marcus spat blood. You ruined everything." Dominic stepped beside her, battered but standing. "No, Marcus. You ended yourself." Marcus lunged in one last desperate strike. But Dominic moved faster. He drove his blade straight through Marcus's heart. For a moment, Marcus looked surprised. Then he crumbled to dust. Silence settled. Lena collapsed to her knees. Dominic caught her before she hit the floor. "You did it." She looked up at him, exhausted. "We did it." Arya and Isaiah approached slowly. The city outside flickered, then stabilized. The blood grid's glow calmed to a steady pulse. Dawn approached, casting a soft red hue through the broken windows. Dominic looked over the city with quiet heaviness. Arya whispered, "The throne is yours again." Dominic looked at Lena. And for the first time since she met him, he looked uncertain. Lena managed a weak smile. "What now?" Dominic answered in a low, steady voice. "That depends on you." The sun rose, casting the first peaceful light Crimson Spire had seen in centuries. Crimson Dawn. If you enjoyed this chapter of Crimson Spire, don't leave yet. Hit that like button to keep the blood grid pulsing. Drop a comment and tell me which character shocked you the most. And if you want the next chapter to rise from the shadows, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss what comes next. Trust me, the story is only just beginning.